Hey everyone, how are we doing? Let me stop the music here in the background. Awesome, good to see you here, everybody. Let's get Mubot going. So I restarted the computer and my mouse wasn't working. So I had to go. I'm getting Mubot booted up right here. So I've got the other mouse right here. Here's the other mouse, and here's the current mouse. So I had to, I just clicked buttons. So I had to go and grab another mouse and be like, what's going on? So we're gonna toss that mouse over there. Whee! There we go. Hey, Aisha, good to see you here. Thank you, everybody. Sorry about the delay, but tech issues this morning. Had to grab backup equipment. Mubot is now awake. Yeah, we got it working, Michelle. So I just was like, okay, because sometimes the camera just has a disconnect, and then I reboot the computer, and the mouse is just like not working. So I went and grabbed this one that we have. So I got it fixed, and I'm sorry for the delay here, everybody. Who has questions? What should we do? What should we do? Can you please have time to go over the personal project Shiny app? Yeah, Aisha, what are you wondering? What are you wondering? And I saw Adam was answering questions in 475 this morning. Hey there, I don't know. Do I knit in RStudio and then write my executive summary? Any which way, Shivam. It is your call. It is your way to go. The company is okay with however you choose to do it. However you choose to do it is your call right there. So, good questions. So, what are you thinking about for the personal project right there, Aisha? What are you thinking? I'm closing down some Word documents. I've been like a world of trouble with this app thing. Oh, no worries. I might have been talking to you. I was talking to someone on Discord right before I had to reset the computer. So I don't have Discord up right now. It's amazing. Is that happy sarcasm right there? Is that happy sarcasm? Let's find out. Can you help with how to read Boxplots for everyone? Yeah, let's do some Boxplots here in a second. And probably a lot of the Shiny app stuff might be best on Discord, because it's hard to without showing without doing a personal project, it's hard to do it. Can we have a dashboard? Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do dashboard overview. I like that right there. Dashboard overview, and we have Boxplots, because it's hard to Boxplots in tool 1. So Boxplots. So stat tool 1, Boxplots. Let's see here. BAS 474, dashboard overview. I saw something else. 475, can you show us how to use different data than default? I can insert the widgets but not change to use my data. Ooh, that's a really good one, Dylan, right there. So what are you trying to let's do this right here. Using different data. I bet, you know what we could do? We could use that, what am I thinking about? We could make a reactive container for the data and then have someone click between two buttons and have it load in that data. So let's do that. We'll do that second, then we'll do a dashboard overview. So we're going to use some of the code we have from the notes, and that's where I really suggest going, especially for 475. So stay tuned, 475. We're going to do some dashboard stuff coming up here. The hardest thing with the personal projects or the group projects, hey, Lindsay, so good to see you here, is I don't want to do I don't want to do too much of the project. I don't want to exactly do it. And it's hard for me to do your personal project because it's what you want to talk about. So whatever you're interested in is going to be your personal project. I'm not used to this different mouse right here. I want my old mouse back. Hopefully it didn't die. I'll be ordering the same exact mouse a little bit later. Okay, let's do some 201 box plots and let's just jump into it. Here we go. Okay, so when it comes to box plots, what are box plots used for? There's a really good review. Can you do, yeah, sure. In which chapter, Shivam? Which chapter? Can you do question 2 on the homework assignment after this? Shivam, which chapter is this? Is that for 474? Is that the lab? I think it's lab 474, right? We're gonna be doing some of that in class today. Stem and leaves and box plots. Great job, Isabel. So let's bring that in here too. Stem and leaves, box plots are all quantitative displays. And Jessica's mentioned right there, it's the min, the max, the Q1, the Q3, and the median. Thank you, Isabel, right there. Yeah. And so let's check this out. Now, this is the way a lot of box plots look. A box plot is showing you the what right here. A box plot is showing you the what. Every time you see a box plot, you can see 5 unique points that are going to show you the what. Which, don't worry, Jessica just put them in there. But just with good practice, we should know that every time we see a box plot, we are seeing what? You can say all of them really quick by saying the 5 this, and then we have to know what those are. And the best way to do it is to think about 4 quarters. Now, these quarters aren't equally sized. You know, some of them are spread out a little bit more. And when we look at the 4 quarters, we've got the 5-number summary. Great job right there. So this is the min right here, the Q1, the Q3. Oh my gosh. My brain's booting up. Haven't finished that cup of coffee yet. Q3, the median, and the max. There's an M on medium. And so with this right here, I want to show you something. I want to show you a box plot. Now I'm going to show you a crazy box plot. I want you to think about the way this box plot... Michelle, great to see you here. I want you to think about the way this box plot will look. And thank you so much to everybody who's been... Has anyone messaged me on Discord, and do I reply to you? And do I reply pretty quickly? I've been answering emails this morning. I've been replying on Discord. And shout outs to Adam Spanbauer for 475, who's been answering questions I saw in the 475 chat. Huge shout out. He's a professor here, or lecturer / professor like we are. Huge shout outs to Adam Spanbauer. But messaging on Discord is such a great way to get some pretty quick and instantaneous communications, just like instant messaging. Thank you so much, Michelle, right there. So multiple people in the chat right here have been messaging me on Discord, and really quick responses. So I really appreciate it. Let's say we ask somebody, how many yachts do you own? How many yachts? Okay, put it in the chat right now. How many yachts do you own? Type in the chat how many yachts you own. Sometimes someone likes to be a little bit funny in the chat, but be truthful. How many yachts do you own? Maybe someone's like 2, and I'm like, really? And they're like, yes, really. I own 2 yachts. 2 luxury yachts. How many yachts do you own? 27, Michelle. We're all partying with Michelle today. We each get our own personal yacht. 0, says Christy. So this is data right here. Put C or Q in the chat. What kind of data is this? What kind of data is this? C or Q in the chat. C or Q in the chat. And you'll see how this connects into the idea of box plots here in a moment. C or Q. Is this quantitative or categorical data? What kind of data is this? It's quantitative, right? It's quantitative, meaning how many yachts do you own? So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to graph builder, and we're just going to take how many yachts you own and put it right here. This is a box plot. Why does the box plot look this way? And here's the answer. Why does the box plot look the way it does? Why does the box plot? Why does the box plot look the way it does? Any thoughts on why the box plot looked the way it does? There's only the value of 0. So 0 is the minimum amount of box plot, minimum amount of yachts someone owns. 0 is the maximum. All the data points are 0. So that's a box plot. But what if, and I think we can do, here we go, automatic recalc. Was it automatic recalc's on? Cool. Automatic recalc is a really nice feature inside of Jump that whenever you alter a graphic, it'll automatically recalculate it. So let's make it so our box plot's all nice and pretty right here. There we go. And now let's add in that one person said they own 2 yachts. And notice that person is now a what in this box plot. It might be hard to see them, but that person is now a what in this box plot. That person is now a what in this box plot. You can see them all the way up there. And you can tell the range of values. They're an outlier. And it's because the IQR is 0. The IQR being the distance from Q1 to Q3 is 0. So anyone who owns more than 1 yacht, or anyone who owns more than 0 yachts, excuse me, anyone who owns a yacht is an outlier. Does that make sense to say it? Like, if you own a yacht, you're an outlier. That's unusual. Most, if not everybody, does not own yachts. So you are an outlier just by virtue of owning a yacht. So this kind of goes with what we know about reality. But now we're gonna move down to some really, what neighborhood are we moving to? Brentwood? I don't know. What's a really, where everyone owns yachts neighborhood? Sorry, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing to say about Brentwood. But what's that place in Florida where everyone owns? We were watching Bachelorette, and it was like Hannah's season, and there was a guy who was from some area in Florida where like it's like the median house value is like 2.8 million, like just ridiculous. We're gonna move down there. That's where we're moving to. So now we're gonna look at the population there. Bel Air, we're going to Bel Air. Got in one little fight. My mom got scared, and she said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel Air." Now, what's interesting about this box plot is Coral Gables? Maybe that might be it. If you look at this box plot, or we could do this. Watch this. Let's do this. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh, yep. You see, look, there was the median for a moment. 4, 4, 5, 6, 6. I want to make it less variation. Trying to, you can watch the box plot change as I do this. Oh, come on. 3. Dang it. I'm trying to make it. Trying to make it. There we go. Now what's unusual now? Let's take a look at this right here. Now we're saying like how many in West Philadelphia? Nice job. Now we're looking at this right here. And what do you notice about this down here? What do you notice about this point right here? The person who owns 0 yachts, there's a lot of yachts apparently here. The person who owns 0 is now unusual. You can kind of watch the box plot change as I do this, but at all points reviewing the 5-number summary. Now, why don't we see a whisker up here at the top? Can you go over in Boxplots how to tell something is left or right skewed? Yes. Which way is this pulled right now? To the low or to the high side? Which way do you see a pull from the median? Is it more stretched out from the median towards the low side? Or is it more stretched out on the median towards the high side? So Isabel, good question right here. Is it more stretched out towards the low side? Or is it more stretched out towards the high side? The low side. And what does that mean? When we say low, we're talking about what skew? And I'll show you the box plot data, or the histogram data right here. When we say low, that means our monster man has a what skew? I'll put him over here. There we go. When we say low, it has a left skew. Great job right there, everyone. It has a left skew. And you can see that above me right here, it has a left skew. So this is the associated histogram with it. And what do you see above the histogram? Another box plot. Histograms also in Jump give you the mean, and the mean is kind of near the median. This is a bit of a weird one, but this is left skew. One trick you can do to know skew, this is an advanced trick, is go to Customize Summary Statistics, and you can actually look at the skewness, and left is negative skew, so it is left skew. So you're not required to know that, but Jump can actually give you a numeric quantity of skew. 0 is symmetric, left is negative skew, and positive is right skew. So we can actually quantify, excuse me, everyone, we can actually quantify the skew of the distribution. So you don't actually have to guess of it a lot of times in statistics. You can actually be like, oh, the skew is -1, so it is slightly less skew. If it was 0, it would be a symmetric distribution. There would be no pull to the high or low side. So when you look at a box plot, once again, we want to know the 5-number summary. But we could take and make a histogram out of this, or we could take and make a what else out of this. This goes to the other question asked in the chat. We could also make a histogram, a dot plot, or what other important graphics should we know how to read when it comes to quantitative data? So this is a box plot, 5-number summary, and you can see it right there. What other important thing could we make? What other important graphic can we make here that is quantitative univariate? Univariate my gosh. Univariate quantitative data. My computer's failing on me this morning. I'm failing on me. Stem and leaf. Great job, Michelle, right there. Stem and leaf. So make sure you have those written down. We're going to show the graphic again right here for you to see. The graphic shows that you can make a histogram. Look up there in the top corner. Histogram, box plot, dot plot, stem, and leaf. Have those written down as univariate quantitative. I'm pointing to this box right here. All of these can display the same data. So you're not really changing what you're doing by making a stem and leaf. You're just displaying it differently. So let's look at a stem and leaf right here. And that is obtained by going back and making the histogram. And now we're going to go here, click the top arrow, and then we're going to add to it a stem and leaf right here, which confirms, we're doing some 474 in a moment, or we're doing 475, then we can do some 474 grant. Good questions. So let's go here and make the stem and leaf. Now, if you notice, the stem and leaf has a bin width of what? We don't ask many bin width questions on the test, but the bin width is how you're dividing up the number line. So we kind of have, and it's a bit weird, but what is the bin width here? What is the bin width for this data? What is the bin width? Good job right there on the points. What is the bin width for this data? Does anyone know? Bin width are the widths of these bins right here. Each of these is bins that collects data. So the bin width, if you look over here at the histogram, a histogram has a different bin width on it. The bin width on the histogram is 1. The bin width on this is a half a unit. Does that make sense? Like this is the lower zeros. This is the upper, like this goes to 0 to 0.5. This goes from 0.5 to 1. It doesn't include 1. It stops at 1. It goes to 1 up to 1.5, 1.5 up to 2, 2 to 2.5, 2.5 to 2, 3 to 3.5, Does that make sense? Awesome right there. So bin width is just the length of the bin unit because this is just where we collect data. Same thing on the histogram, but this histogram has a bin width of 1. Bin widths are subjective. You could make the bin widths bigger or smaller. What is the bin width of the histogram now? What is the bin width of the histogram now? Just a quick review of bin widths. What is the bin width of that histogram now? Don't look at the number line where it goes in units of 2. Look at the width of the bin, which is what a bin width is. So what is the bin width of the histogram now? The bin width. And you see how this has a half a unit if you divide it up there. And the bin width of the histogram is what? It's 6. Great job, Michelle. And that's all you do right there. You just look right here and you say, oh, it's 6 units across. That's what the bin width is right there. It'll change it when I do that. Now the bin width is 4. Jump dynamically changes your graphics, but the bin width right now is 4. So, because I changed it. So with this right here, we need to understand how to read a stem and leaf plot. Now, a stem and leaf plot is going to give you the leading digit in the stem. This, and let me highlight it. What I am highlighting here for you is just a what line. That's not observations. That's just a what line. What I've highlighted for you there is just a what line. What I've highlighted for you there is just a what line. It's just a what line. It's not observations. Yeah, we're going to be doing some, you bet, Matthew, we're going to be doing some 474. I would say it's a number line. Does that make sense? It's a number line. It's just a number line. So this is just a number line. It just tells you kind of the values and number line. Exactly, Jessica. Great work right there. So what is this right here? Are those observations? What is that right there? What is that right there? That right there would be a what? What would that right there that I've highlighted be? Those won't be observations yet. Those won't be the observations yet. Those won't be the observations yet. That'll be just a number line. So that's just a number line again. Number line right there. That's just a number line. It's just a number line. It just tells you kind of the leading digit. It's still just a number line. Now, take a look at this. What I'm highlighting in blue right here, which would have like the counts of observations also. What I've highlighted in blue are the whats. The leaves, yep, exactly. The leaves are the observations. The leaves are the observations. Does that make sense? So this area right here, we'll call it like area A, is the same over here. That's where the observations are. Where we can see that there's only 3 observations down here. That's where these 3 observations are right there. That'd be 3 observations high right there. So those are the 3 observations you see there on the low side. It's just grouped together differently. We might be able to make it look, I could probably do half a unit over here and make them look super similar. Let me try and make it half a unit. Might have to actually edit it. Let me go in and edit the number line. So you can edit it. Let's go from 0 to 8 increments of 0.5 and see if we can get it to look identical. There it is. Do these 2 look the same? Now, I hope this is where I hope you see like, oh, like this data right here is just this data right here. This data right here is just this data right here. That data is that. And it's just you can just see the values. If somebody had said, let's change that value on here. Let's go to redo automatic recalc. There we go. We see some odds in the chat. I see it. If someone had said 3.1, do you see how this now is 1 right here? What does this mean right here that it says 0, 1? So here's the people over here. And what does it mean that it says 0, 1? Explain to me about the yachts, which I know yachts are discrete values, but explain to me what 0, 1 means. There was a person who answered what, and there was a person who answered what. And you can see them both down here in this bin because this would collect data between 3 and 3.5. There was a person, and you can see that in the data. Great job right there. You can see it in the data that there was a person who answered 3 and a person who answered 3.1. And that's why you see that right there. That is an observation. That is an observation. And there were 2 observations. What does the 6 right here mean in all these zeros? What does the 6, and great work right there, everybody. What does the 6 right there mean? Which that's not an observation, that's a count of observations. And then what does 5,0,0,0,0,0,0 mean? What does all that mean right there? What does all that mean right there? So explain to me what that means, and we'll look at the data again. What's that 0,0,0,0,0 after that 5 mean? You see it says 0, 0. There were 5 people answered 5 6 times. You see it right there? There are 5 6s in the data. There were 6 people who answered 5. Exactly. Is this making more sense how to read a stem and leaf, and especially seeing that a stem and leaf is just like a histogram? It has a number line just like a histogram. So it's got the number line and then just the observations, and then the heights of the bins are basically the amounts of observations. So you can just kind of look at it like a shape right here, like the histogram is. So I always like to make my stem and leaf look like my histogram. Then you can see like, oh, it's the exact same thing. I just had to change the bin widths and the number lines to be identical, so that way it created the graphic the same way. Any more questions to one? Really good review right here, kind of on box plots, stem and leaves, histograms, talking about some univariate quantitative data. Let's take one more 201 question, and then we're going to do a little 475, and then maybe some 474. 474, we're going to be doing a lot of the lab today in class. Thank you, everyone, for not being... I appreciate people not being like, where's Bren? Oh, my gosh. When everything wasn't working this morning, I was like, are you kidding me? My mouse doesn't work now. My camera's not turning on. Let's take another 201 question. If you have it, what are you working on? And also... if you're stuck on any 201 questions, I have videos on almost every single My Pearson question. So please, 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 especially in the chat on the Discord, if you're like, I'm stuck on those. It really was this morning. I was like, are you kidding me? My report 1 is not knitting. Yes. Did you send me the file? Well, I also had to reinstall R again this morning. I don't know what was happening, but something happened with my install, and I reinstalled R this morning, all that stuff. Did you send me the file, Sydney? I'm going to load up Discord here in a little bit. I'll have to check it out. Awesome, Sydney. Thank you so much. I'll be checking that out and see why it's not knitting, but we'll figure that out. Where are those videos? Good question right there. So one of the best ways, let's put a note right here. Finding video help for 201. I'll show you how I find them because I don't have all of them memorized. So Stats 101, finding video help on YouTube. Okay. We're going to practice our Google skills. You ready? Okay. So if you, if you're looking for a video, what could you do to find a video? If you're looking for a video, where could you go? Who could you email to find a video? You're like, hey, I'm stuck on this. What do I do? I'm stuck on this. What do I do? There's a lot of playlists. Yep. A lot of the playlists have the videos. So if you go to the playlist and you Google like test 1 or something, there's a lot. I see ones you don't see. But if you go to like test 1, there's test 2 chapter reviews, test 3 review videos. You can DM me on Discord. That's a great way. Another great way that you may not have known is if you're on the YouTube channel. This is what I suggest. Go here to the search bar. If you go here to the search bar, you can type things like OGIVE. That was a really tough question last night, those OGIVE questions. And take a look. It brings up office hours from September 8th. This one right here would not be the right one below it, but office hours September 8th. And so the horse racing OGIVE question is right here where it says horse races OGIVE. And you see we got other chapter 4 quiz questions right here. So if you click any of these timestamps from this video, you can go right to histograms and box plots. There's the one. There's a shorter hair Brian. We'll turn him down. So going over those histograms and box plots right there, you can go over another one right here, baseball teams. So this is the baseball team question. Wearing the sports shirt. Oh, internet's being crazy today. There we go. So here's the baseball team one. All these ones right here, you just type in any question you're working on, especially the waiter waitress one. Oh my gosh, that one's a big one. So here's the waiter waitress question probably in here somewhere. But if you Google part of your question in here, and if you can't find it, let me know. I can usually find them pretty quickly because I kind of know at what times we're covering them. But I've pretty much done a video on almost all the questions that exist for My Pearson. So if you're stuck on a question, let me know. And I try to walk through how to solve the problems in these. But using the search feature on YouTube, if you type in part of your question, like keywords that would be unique to the question, you can probably find where I've worked at. Oh, Brian didn't put off. This is from my old apartment. Oh my gosh. Gosh, this is 3 years ago. Was it only 2 years ago? That's like right before I left Knoxville. Oh, wow. Any last questions right here? We're doing some 474, it looks like right there. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I was using, man. I had to bring the whole studio back to my apartment and set it up. Yep, wow. This is the first day. Sorry, I'm on memory lane right now. I think this is my first office hours from, yeah, it's March 2019, March 29, 2020. The first office hours I did when we got back. There's, I look confused. But good stuff right there, man. Memory lane right there. This is so many hours of me on YouTube. Anyways, any last questions right here? 201. Brian touches his hair. There you go. Classic. Any last questions here? We'll head over to the main screen. We're going to do some 475, I think. What are people thinking? Any questions? We've done so many different things here. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's going to be some 475. I think the 475 questions were using different data. I'm going to do this right here. Using different data. Hope I'm not getting sick. I feel congested today. It's not good. Not good. I'll throw out some points right there for everybody. Brian cannot get sick. Need help making a list for one of the tabs? Making sub-menus, Matthew? Are you trying to make sub-menus for your tab? I think you mean a sub-menu, right? I'm going to try to switch mouses between this. Are you talking about a sub-menu? I think that's what you mean. Let's go over here. And got my phone. I'm trying to fill my tab with information. You might have to message me on Discord about that to do like a specific one. I'm logging in with Duo Mobile right now. And what kind of information are you trying to fill your tab with? Trying to get an output from the info put into the widgets. Oh, Olivia, and message me, Olivia. You might have to message me on it. We're gonna talk about good, like for a specific one, you might have to DM me on Discord. You might say, Brian, this is not working. Send the code. And huge shout outs to Adam, who was in the chat this morning. I was replying to DMs this morning, and I saw Adam was replying to the chats. He's just absolutely awesome. Categories, I found an example online, but I can't get it. Yes, send me your code, send me the example online, and I can take a look, Matthew. Send me your code, send me the example of what you have. Send me your code, send me the example of what you have. Let's go over here and start doing some changing your data in Discord or in Shiny Apps. Okay. So if we look right here, you're welcome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, those are going to be the best for getting a specific problem solved to not... My goal is everyone does their own kind of unique ideas, and I don't want to have everyone do the exact same thing. So we've got some example files right here, and we want to get to reactive values. Okay. So we worked with this one 2 days ago on Wednesday, I believe, the reactive values. Is my R working properly? Yes, it is. Okay. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to load in different data sets. We're going to load in different data sets. Good to see you here, Knox. And with this right here, currently this app, let's take a look at it. Currently this app right here creates a uniform or a normal distribution. Now with it, this is one of the ones we worked with. What do we have going on right here? We are checking in the UI if somebody does what? We are checking in the UI if somebody does what? So watch the UI and look at the information right here. We are checking in the UI if somebody does what? So right down here, what is going on? Just explain to me kind of mechanically what is going on with this right here and this up here and then running this. So we're checking mechanically what? We're checking what? We're checking what? So we've got this up here, then this down here from the input. So what's going on? Just talk. Don't worry about saying every single thing. What is going on in the computer in the server? It's looking for what? So you see we got this up here. Then we got this down here. We're just going to listen to that up there. Don't worry if you get it wrong. What is it doing? So this is the widget, right? Can you send a link to that one of the widgets? Yeah, yeah, here, well, let me show you exactly where it's at. This one is, these are all posted. They're in the notes too. it should be posted. It's posted, yeah. It's the reactive value shiny. I think Dylan got it right there. It's if you click this one right here, William, it's the reactive value shiny. These are all the codes we have from the notes right here that we've been working through. It's the reactive value shinies right there. The server is looking at what is input in the UI and React. Great job right there, Dylan. And thank you for asking about that, William. It is going to be listening to the buttons, and when the buttons get a click, so it's going to observe the buttons, it's listening to that input, it's going to then run the code that creates the uniform data. So it's going to store into this and create the reactive values right here. So we are creating reactive values. And right here, we just kind of create a container for it to start. And let's do this right here. Let's change this, because I think the question was like, you want to work with different data sets. So let's say instead of doing this, let's take and create a button right here. And we're going to go data equals empty cars MPG. And now we're going to go right here. Is it mad? What's it mad about? Doesn't like that vector? Unexpected token. Oh, we got an extra there. Thank you very much, R. You're very kind to us. So let's go right here and type in input. Well, let's change this to miles per gallon. And then right here, wait. And we should be good. Let's check it. There we go. Is this making sense what I've done right here? Now I have where I can click buttons to switch between different values in a data frame. So you could create these buttons right here. We could try to create more of them more quickly. But if you wanted to give somebody a view of what's going on in the data, you can create these buttons that can have them switch between the histograms. How are we doing on this right here? Is this, I'm trying to remember who asked this, but now we've created buttons right here at the top with the reactive values that change what data is being displayed. So we're still just creating a histogram on this page, but we don't have to create multiple histograms for each different thing. We could create another histogram, let's say. Let's go look at the empty cars data set. And the empty cars, well, we should go names on it. So we could create a histogram of the horsepower right here by going in, creating an action button for horsepower. And now let's go horsepower right here. And the input ID HP. And then we're going to go right here into the observe event. Yep. Should be good. Another observe event right here. Formatting looks good. And then we go to HP. And then we're going to write into when HP is clicked. And we should be good. Cross your fingers. Everything looks good. And there's horsepower. So now we have different, and we want to probably change some of the titles of these. I could probably, I bet, let's try this. Let's go to our histogram and go to main. This is how you get a title in a histogram. Main equals my title. See if it looks good. It does say my title. And from here, we want to go with the following. Let's try paste. And let's say my title. Let's say 2. Good, we're good. And then let's remove this and say input $. What are people's thoughts? I want to grab what button was just pressed. So observe event. Oh, could I put a second thing inside of the observe event? So we're writing the reactive values. Well, I could put another observe event right here. And I could create another reactive value. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. So here's my reactive values. There's that. Okay. So we're going to create another set of reactive values. We're going to ignore that it's mad about that for the moment. And with the reactive values right here, we're just going to create data 2. And data 2 is going to have in it the word. Let's put the word miles per gallon. Okay. Oh, we need to create reactive values too. Oh, let me just call it data. Let's see. And reactive values 2. Data. Is it going to like it? Haven't changed everything yet. Okay. We look to be good. Let's delete this off. Let's put that there. And then let's put right here, if somebody clicks this, it goes to miles per gallon. And let's start copy pasting. What are the thoughts for 74? What for 75, excuse me? What are the thoughts right here? What are the thoughts? Now, is horsepower one word? It's horsepower, I think, right? Oh, see, now I got a problem. Oh, I'm storing into reactive values. That's the problem. No, why? 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 What are your thoughts, William? What are your thoughts? Yeah, that's the thing. Olivia, this is just, I know I do it more quickly. I'm going to put this. So I want everyone to see, what are we doing? We are building off of, I got to load up the Discord. We are building off of what we are doing right there. We're building off of the idea of reactive values. No, don't want to scare everybody. But just taking this idea right here and building off of it. Just taking this idea and being like, okay, I want to change this. Here's the most important thing. How many times should you run your app? So, reactive values. How many times should you run your app? Just dropped it in right here. It's on the Discord now. Every step. Every time you make a change, run it again. I was getting confused with all the additional tabs trying to figure out what goes where. And so with this right here, so if we want to take this and have this as like a tab, display your data, right? Let's go here and try to add into this. So now let's talk about dashboards, because dashboards was a question. So let's do a dashboard overview. You ready? Let's start talking about dashboards. We've created this right here, which is going to allow us to switch between different sorts of data. Let's once again see what the app does. We didn't change these names. You have to watch out because these inputs right here, we'll be good. We'll be good about this. You ready? Let's call this MPG. Let's call this WT. And let's go here. That has to be MPG. That has to be that. This is like making sure your wires line up. How's everyone doing with this right here? How's everyone doing with this right here? Does that make sense? Those changes I made with the input IDs. Also, if you highlight them, it shows you if they match. And we could call this weight I. Let's call it weight I. It's too much. That makes sense. Good on there. I know what to do. Yeah, and then just little steps right here. Little steps. We're going to put this into a dashboard now. So now our goal is to take what we've done here and bring it over to a dashboard. And there's a lot going on in a dashboard. I know that. That's why I wanted to give you a template and keep asking for things like templates. Be like, hey, Brian, can we get a template of this? Or can you show how to do this? Keep asking for those things. The biggest thing about coding is just asking questions, because it's much, much easier to ask a question and have someone who kind of knows how to do it, kind of walk you through it. So we've created just a small little app right here, right now, that all this app does is switch between 3 different sets of data. And one last thing we're going to do to double check it runs. For 100 points, I want to know this runs before I start using it elsewhere. What should I do? For 100 points, I want to double check this runs. So I want to double check this runs. What should I do to double check to be like, I know this runs? What should I do to ensure this runs? To be like, I know this runs. What should I do? I want to be like, I know this runs. I am certain of it. What should I do? Clear the global environment, exactly. Because I might have had some sort of broken version of it, and now we've confirmed right there. Great job. We have confirmed this runs. We know it's working. We're good to go. So we have a working app right here. Now we're going to take it and bring it over to the dashboard. So I'm going to go grab the dashboard, which we have posted on the Discord. We have a basic dashboard. Where is our basic dashboard? Let's see right here. There we go. We got the widgets right here. So this is the basic dashboard we have posted. It was posted yesterday right after class, I think. And we're doing it inside of an R script right here. And then we're going to close this out. We're going to make sure this runs and go down here. Now, the easiest thing, Oh, see, we got the histogram of data. Ooh, so we could kind of have it work with our data. Ooh, cool. Worry about that later. This is a widget tab. Oh, so this could be your data. Okay. So this is kind of set up a little bit ready to go for us right here, I think. We got the dashboard and we got the widgets. So let's think about this right here. You ready? I should probably... What's going to be the easiest thing to change? What do you think? I have ideas. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What's going to be the easiest things to change? We've got a dashboard layout. Remember, this is posted to the Discord right now. What's going to be the easiest kind of step change for us to do with setting this up now to bring this into the dashboard layout? The dashboard layout has a lot of different areas, whether we're talking about the top menu right here, the sidebar nav. We've got fluid pages inside of here sometimes. So you've got all these different positions where you can put stuff into. So you've got all these different things. You can even make a menu over here, a control panel on the right. So you can add those. Changing the titles. We can start changing some titles. I like that right there. So let's do that. Let's see right here. We got menu items, right? So the menu items, and this is kind of the important thing right here, are connected to tabs. So notice this right here, how when I highlight tab name, dashboard is what's going to go inside that tab. So this just creates a menu item and a tab, and then this is what's inside that tab. Over here, you can see the next menu item down here is widgets, and this is going to be the name of it. Be careful, these are slightly different. You need to make sure it has a lowercase w. This one I think has a capital W right there, so those don't line up, but this is just the name of what you see on the screen. Like this is on-screen name. So that's just the on-screen name over here on the left side, and you see it's the on-screen name. Does that make sense what that is? And this is how R internally sees it. It internally sees it as the tab widgets. That has nothing to do with the on-screen name. That is just what you're calling it right there, and do your change to make sure it's working. So that's just the on-screen name, whatever you want it to be, but make sure the tab names match up or else you're gonna have a problem. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna take my reactive values. I'm gonna take all these buttons right here, and we're gonna take every single one of these buttons. We're doing it in a fluid page right here, so we should be good. Let's take this fluid page right here. We might delete that output histogram, and everything should work. That's the famous last lines right there. And we're gonna take, ooh, careful. Hope I didn't mess anything up. And we're gonna drop it right here. Okay, we got an output histogram. Watch out if you grab outputs from two spots, it's gonna get mad. I'm gonna delete the histogram output for now. And that's just there. How are people doing? What in the code allows you to navigate between tabs by clicking? It's the way the tabs work, Noah. A good question right there. The way the tabs work, the tabs just work by clicking. It's the way a dashboard layout works. Does everyone understand what I did right here? Please slow me down or stop me. I don't want to go too quickly because I go too quickly sometimes. How are people doing with, I took the fluid page and I put it inside of the tab. I took the fluid page and I put it inside of the tab. And we should be good. Those are just action buttons. So you got it. Mm-hmm. So I took all the work we did over here on this, and I took out the histogram. And a fluid page is basically like a sheet of paper. Then, so now we should see, fingers crossed, we should see, aha. Does that make sense? I just put my fluid page inside of here. The code was just sent on Discord right there. I think it's the most recent message has the fluid page on there. It's where it says UI storing to fluid page. So previously, this was the full UI. Does that make sense? Like previously, that fluid page was the full UI. Does that make sense right there, Olivia? Previously, this was the full UI. But now, each tab, and I want to pull up the notes here. You remember there's one note that shows like a Z dimension because like each page is in X by Y. But now we're doing like a Z dimension where we have multiple pages. And each page we're making, like we could make multiple fluid page. Each page is kind of known as a what inside of a dashboard. So you're doing like a Z dimension where there's multiple fluid pages and each fluid page is known as a, and maybe I'll show it right here. I'll show it in the notes. Each fluid page would be known as a what? A new what? Oh my gosh, this mouse I'm not used to. Each fluid page is known as a what? It's a really good picture that kind of shows what we're talking about. There it is. So each fluid page is a new what? Because usually we just make a fluid page like this right here, and that's what we did first, but now we're allowing for more whats by doing this right here, by like having different ones. What do we call that in the code right here? What is allowing us to do multiple fluid pages? I got my list to run, but I put the fluid page over there. Tabs. Different tabs right there. Oh, is it making sense? Different tabs. Matthew, you might have to send it to me. The widgets are what we see inside of there. So you can add widgets to it. Like you can add widgets to your page. So that's a widget on a page. So this is a fluid page right here. And that's what we're doing. And thank you everyone for all these questions. This is a fluid page right here. Does that make sense? This is a fluid page. It has X by Y. But when I go over here to the one we're working on now, this is a dashboard. And the dashboard has a fluid page in it right here. Like this is a fluid page. This is another fluid page. I love the widgets. Nice job, Marjorie. There we go. Marjorie, yeah, are you in it this time or did you take it previously? So I want to show them some of the cool things people have created. So does it make sense that we have a fluid page right here and we have a fluid page right here? Who's following that? We have two fluid pages. So that's what you're seeing here in the notes when it shows you this is a fluid page, and then on a dashboard, you're getting a fluid page here, a fluid page here, a fluid page here. So you can just make multiple fluid pages to go between them when you click the tab. So you're just hopping over to another fluid page. And that's why you see we took inside of the code right here and put a fluid page inside this tab. So we took that whole app and put it inside of there. And this is why I love dashboards, is because you can do multiple things. Theoretically, we can make multiple fluid pages separately, then move them in. Exactly, Dylan, right there. That's 100 points right there. Nice job, Marjorie. I like that. 100 points, both of you. You probably got the question for, can you show an example of 3 or more fluid pages app? Oh, yeah. Well, there's a bunch in the Shiny dashboard. We could do that next, Aisha. Our last one. Yeah, this is, do not worry. I want to say this, there's going to be a lot. It's more about, I see that you put time into this, but please, 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 if you're stuck for more than 5 minutes, please let me know. Please post in the Discord. The big thing about these is starting early. You can't do these things. You can't do these apps by just starting it an hour before it's due and being like, I'm just going to crush it. I'm just going to focus for an hour. Because as soon as you hit something that doesn't work, you see it happen to me in class. It just breaks. And then I'm the one who has to fix it because I'm the one who's got the knowledge. And I'll forget one comma. You forget one comma. You don't put a comma here. You don't put a comma there. And you know what happens to your app? Your app says no. One comma. And you're done. You're done, son. One comma. Because all these things are different elements. Oh, put a comma in the wrong spot. So it'll drive you absolutely crazy. But that's why you got to start early. And you just if you get stuck, you just ask a question. We were going to go over the for loop lab today in class. You got it, KP. Definitely. That's going to be one of the big components of today's class is basically we're going to do for loops all today. We'll probably do the full lab inside of class. So we see right here. Thank you, KP, so much. KP, 50 points right there. So now we have these buttons, but I want to connect it to this histogram over here. This histogram right here is static data, but it's allowing me to control the bins. So I need to bring in my what values right now. From my previous app, I need to bring in my what values. From my previous app, I need to bring in my what values. From my previous app, I need to bring in, this goes to Dylan's question, I think. From my previous app, I need to bring in my what values. From my previous app, I need to bring in my what values. What do I need to bring in? It's up there. This is the one we just made a moment ago. From the previous app, I need to bring in the what values because the data is not changing. I want to change the data when you click the buttons. What kind of values was I creating? From the previous app, I need to bring in the reactive values. Great job right there, Max. The reactive data, the reactive values. So it's a reactive data set or reactive vector and reactive string right there. So this is a reactive string. Even though it's reactive values, it's a value. Does that make sense? Like this starts out as miles per gallon. And then when you click the button, it's going to change miles per gallon to weight or horsepower back to miles per gallon. And this is stored into reactive values 2 with the variable name data. It doesn't really matter what we call it, just reactive values 2, reactive values 1. This is a vector stored in here, and it happens when it's listening to the button, which we've created the buttons on the event. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I don't like this new mouse. On when I click right here on this, it's going to act on it and create the reactive values. So we're going to take all of this code right here. Boop. And then we're going to go over here and put this code in the where. When I go over to this new page, I need to bring all this code to my where. I'm going to bring all this code to my where. Great job, Dylan, right there to the server, right? There's my code in the server. Let's clear everything out, make sure it runs. Really shouldn't do anything yet. Shouldn't cause any problems, but doesn't really do anything because we haven't connected it all yet. So we're good. It's in the server. Great job, Sydney, right there, and Olivia. So now we have that it's creating those, at least we think. Pretty sure it is. So now I want the histogram to show that. So what should I do down here? So now the histogram is creating the data right here, render plot. So instead of using hist data, what should I do? Instead of using hist data, what should I do? Instead of using hist data, what should I do? Instead of using hist data, what should I do? Instead of using hist data, and so you can cheat and look at what we did over here. Instead of using hist data, what should I do? And there's the answer on the screen. So what should I do instead of using hist data? Because I wanted to use the reactive values data. And where's the reactive values data stored? So it's not actually an input. Good guess right there, Olivia. And then Dylan got it right there. So it's going to use the reactive values data because we're creating the reactive value data here. So it's going to use the reactive value data right here. Does that make sense, Olivia? It's not going to use an input this time. It's going to use reactive values data. We actually don't need to, we can delete out the useless code or comment it out. I would probably just delete it, but that code, great job, Olivia. Good work right there. It's going to use the reactive values data. I commented out that code with Control-Shift-C, and now we see histogram of reactive values. It is working, and we click right here, and we see it changing the data. So now it's horsepowers right there, and we do have this slider option right here. Oh, see, it's not controlling the bin widths. So what we need to do is get that bin widths working on this. Let's see right here. So breaks, let's see. It's not changing the, oh wait, hist data, okay. Sequence lengths, hist data, input. Oh, that's how much data. Let's go here to breaks equals input $slider. See if this works. There we go. Look at that. And now we want to change this from number of observations. Instead of it saying number of observations, say bin width. We were just talking about that in 201. So bin width. Let's set the default bin width. They didn't call the values right here. This is the value input. Let's set it to 10. That's the range. That's the min. That's the max. That's the range. And there we go. So now we can change the bin width of this. And last but not least, one last thing I love is that we can add a color picker to this. And I'm pretty sure it's just color picker. So let's see right here. You ready? Where am I going to put my color picker? Where do you think I'll put my color picker? We should be able to put it there, I think. Where do you think we'll put the color picker? Yep, I think so. Where should we put the color picker? I would put it... Oh, we don't have it loaded up, it looks like. So let's go here. Let me see. Library color picker. There it is right here. And now let's go to color picker. There's color picker. Color input. Value equals purple. Let's find out if this worked. Oh, it's mad, it's mad. Let's change this. I'm going to go grab that code here in a second. It's mad. Dun, dun, dun. What is it mad about? Font awesome icon dashboard does not exist. Ooh. HTML dependency, check these names. So it's getting, is it mad about that color input? Well, we're going to check out the color picker in a second. What are people's thoughts here as we try to get this to work? I thought it was color picker. Okay, whoa. Whoa. That's the color picker right there. Color picker. That is it right there. This is what I'm looking for. So that runs the color picker, but I want the code for it. Let me go grab this. Add color picker to R. What are people's thoughts? 474, 475. What are your thoughts? Bring this over here. We're going to add in the color picker and do a little bit more here. Color picker in R Shiny. Which code is it? Here we go. Here we go. Color input. It's color input. There it is. There's our color input. Select a color. So now, what should I put right here? What do you think? Oh, thank you, Olivia, so much. That's what I want this to do. What should I do to my histogram now? How can I make it so we can change this color now? You can bring the data over here to this other page. What should we do here? I'm going to make a change. What should we do now? Right here. How can we make this change of color? What line would we need to edit down here to change the color of the histogram? What line would we need to edit to change the color of the histogram? So now we want to change the color of that histogram via the input. So what line do we need to edit? We want to change the color of the histogram. What line do we need to edit? Yep, yep. Great job, Olivia, right there. We need to do that. Preston, good to see you here. I feel like my results for the first are boring. They can be pretty boring. That's all right. Yeah, Preston, send it to me and I can take a look. We're not gonna change the world with the results. But send it to me and I can take a look. Uh-oh. Is it not color? Hist. It's in the render plot. It's mad about it. A wire is cross-joined. Is it not color? Is it? It's col. It's col. Let me change this. We're supposed in the DM. Send in the. It might sometimes it's like with the U. I'm gonna put this as color like that, and it's col. So input $color. There we go right there. See, there's so many, like, depending if you're working with, like, ggplots or whatever you're working with, there's so many different inputs that, yeah, just so many different things. I'm going to take and do a little redesign of this real quick. We're not going to use the second widgets page. We're just going to grab all these buttons right here. And yeah, that'll be good. Let's grab all these buttons here on this page. And we'll just leave that like that. And then let's put right here title. Title equals select your variable, comma, these, comma. Let's see if it looks good now. I made quite a few changes right there. Use FFA. Exactly. Exactly. Oh no, what is it going on? Why is it over there? Oh no. Well, it almost put it where I wanted it. It almost did. Yep. FF8200. There you go. UT orange right there. Nice job, Nolan. Some UT orange. Why is it moving that over there in that fluid row? Maybe we should put it inside the box. Let's do that. Let's take this right here. Move out the title. And take all of this right here. And yep. Okay, let's take that. And inside of this box, first thing, let's put this. Oh, I can't. How's my formatting? Let's see. Whoops. I want this to look nice and pretty. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see if this looks good now. Or did I break it? Okay, okay. Look at that. How's this look? What are your thoughts on this so far? Like, you've got controls over here for this. And then let's put a select your data above this in this box. So the box has the title. And let's go and grab a title right here and say, oops, it's not going to be the fluid row. It's going to be the box title. Let's go right here and say, select your data. Select your variable. And then let's go back here and do the following and check it out. So now it should say select your variable, and then you select the variable right there, and then we get the following, and then we want to put histogram of, and then the value of it. So we have that already. Put questions if you got them in the chat. We actually made that code a little while ago where we made the title, and so we've got the title right there, which is main, and we made that earlier. So we're going to put it right here. Why did it sub it? Oh, see, that's what you got to watch, is I didn't stay inside the hist. And we'll put histogram of, and then we'll put a second thing right there. What are people's questions? What are people's thoughts? Histogram of miles per gallon, histogram of weight, histogram of horsepower. You can change the number of bins on this right here, but we just made a really kind of basic page right here. Anyone's thoughts on this right here? Kind of a basic app right here was created. We're no longer using the second tab really. But we've just got some basic data analysis, and hopefully this will be some good help for the groups. But this is kind of the creation of a basic app right here, or basic controls for us to use. We've connected to the bin widths, we've connected to the color of the histogram, and then we have reactive values right here. What are people's thoughts on this? Just kind of nice and neat. And if you're in 201, this is kind of really the power of what we can do. So you just move the buttons from the second tab to the first. Does that make sense, Olivia? I think you're getting it now. Is like, I get everything the way I want it, and I'm like, let's just take this and bring it over to here. Right now, they really, like, the tabs can do things between things, but right now I'm not really using the second tab because I'd prefer people to select what variable they're working above the histogram. And then I would prefer them to have kind of the controls of the histogram over here. So I think this kind of made logical sense to bring it over here. We could add in an instructions page. So now if we wanted to reorder the tabs, your quickest way, it's not going to be pretty, but your quickest way to reorder the tabs is going to be to do the following. We should do it right. Okay, let's do it correctly. The widget page has nothing on it, so we could call it like an intro page. That's the widget page right here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to cut it out. We're going to take the comma because that goes to the next tab. The tab item's right here. And then we're going to go here and do this. And we're going to call this first tab. And this will be second tab. And then there. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to delete the UI or delete everything out of here to make sure it's working. I get a little bit scared when I copy paste like that, like I might lose a comma. Everything is still working, and the dashboard is still the first page, but I want to make this the second page because I want kind of an intro page. So if you notice right here, widgets is the first tab down here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this code right here, and we're going to bring this code to be first right here and put the comma there because it needs the comma. So now we should see the first page is going to be the on-screen name, and then we've changed it. How's that looking right there? Olivia, Arthur, Aisha, does it make sense how I flipped those? And really the flipping is occurring here when I brought it, where I switched the order of them. I just deleted the code and then moved it to the first position. And then I also want the widgets right here, which this is called widgets. Probably need to change the name of that. Awesome. So let's call this like intro page or instructions. And then we might call this instructs like that. And then we would call it that. And let's delete, make sure we're running properly. And if everything's working, good job, Olivia. And now we have the instructions page. And there we go. Did I call it like first shiny.rmd? Because we should be able to go here and in this include markdown, first shiny.rmd. I think this is a file I've created. We'll find out the hard way. And there it is right here. So now I've added in that R markdown file I've created as something in the fluid page. So a fluid page can show an R markdown. But look at where we got to with this app right here. Okay, I just saw it right there. Is that making sense? We've added in the R markdown file to the instructions page, and then we have the dashboard right here allowing us to kind of select variables, go through controls. So what do you suggest for our third? I mean, anything you want. And so don't try to do it that like, remember, you're doing anything you want. It's anything you want. You could do like summary statistics or whatever you want. So try not to do exactly what I'm doing. Try to like look through the files we have. This was created from the reactive values file. We started right here with this file kind of as our starter, and we added to it, made more reactive values, and then we built from here and made a little shiny dashboard. So right now we just have a page. And if you're wondering about this page right here and what it is, just in case, we've talked about it in class, it's first shiny, right? First shiny right here. So the reason I did it this way is I've got this first shiny app right here, and you could just include whatever you want in here. So this is basically a Word document at this point. If I could delete that table, we're never going to delete this table now. Now that we've added this table, it's here for good until we go back to source. Oh, I updated my RStudio and it shows the new thing. Students have this right here. It's now visual. A few students have mentioned they didn't have the button over there that I had. This is now the new updated way inside of RStudio. I updated my RStudio. But you can just go here and just type whatever you want. And then with this file you have going back, that file is now included here in your in your Shiny app. So it's a lot easier than, I've already seen a few apps where people are kind of putting all the instructions and writing it down, but it's a lot easier to just treat it like a Word document, and you can make a lot better and easier. Like, how hard is it? Like, if someone in the group was like, there's nothing wrong with doing this, but who would feel all right writing an instruction page for your app for a group? Like, who would feel okay doing that for a group? Like, if you're including a markdown file, which this is how you edit it by going to the visual, and then you could go right here and increase font size. Well, that's a tiny font. You could go here and increase the font size. Yep, right there, Dylan. It's like, yes. You see it's doing the header right there we talked about. So now you can just go in and edit this, and it's just going to be editing a Word document. So not too bad doing that. I'd feel okay doing that. Yep. So there you go. There's like one thing you can do for your app, and it makes it look really nice. Like, it's pretty easy to create an instruction page and not have to worry about HTML, not have to worry about tags. You're just editing a Word document. We already know how to do that, and it's done simply with the command right here, include markdown. And it's just what's in that fluid page. So this is a tab inside of your fluid page, a fluid page inside your tab that just allows you to include a markdown file. And that's all we're really putting in here for the instructions. Any last questions right here? The icons are all from Font Awesome. Where do we need to put the code to change the skin color? Let's go grab that real quick. So last thing right here, that is I had one of those earlier. Where is that? Let me close this one. I had that. That's the sidebar. What is that one called? I need to grab that code again. There's that. Where is that code? What is the name of that code again? Or was it... I know a student who just sent me it. Whoa, I got a lot of Discord. Who just sent me it? All right, here it is right here, I think. Okay. The code is control bar equals dashboard control collapse equals true skin selector. Okay. Got that code right here. Okay. It's on the website. On the website. So it should be added in. See if I get it in the right spot. It's added in on the dashboard page. So it's going to be added in right here, I believe. Nope. It said no. Let's go one back. It said no. Wait. Could not find function dashboard control. Okay. We got just moments here. What is it in? What is the function dashboard control in? I, with all my resetting of R, have lost it. It is in, what library is it in again? Where is the library? It's in Shiny Dashboard Plus. Okay. Could not find punks. Oh. Huh. Almost there. I thought it. Maybe it worked here and then it. Okay, wait. Yeah, I was right. I was right on the first try. I should have looked at my errors right there. It's in Shiny Dashboard Plus. And so it's right over here, and now we can change the style of it. There we go. We've got our little widget on the side. You can populate this widget with other things too, but we've got our widget on the side to change the way it looks. We've got our dashboard right here. Does that all make sense? We're going to head off here in a second. I'm going to grab some more coffee. And yeah, so it goes at the very end. I actually chose the right spot first, and I should have looked at the error when I ran it the first time. It actually gave the error, if we go all the way back to the start, it's saying it can't find certain things, and I think, there it is. Oh, there's Shiny Dashboard Plus. There, yeah, it's saying, yeah, it couldn't find this. Could not find function, and the first time I ran it, unused arguments. Yeah, I was getting mad about it. It's always mad. But with that, we're going to head off right here. We're going to start class here in just a little bit. Great work, everybody. Good work. We made a little dashboard in office hours. That's what I like to do. It's just kind of work on stuff and make a little something that we can be proud of. A little changer of data right there. Until then, I'll see everyone in class in 6 minutes. Bye!